What if I told you that your body is powered by tiny machines working non-stop to keep you alive? Stick around as we explore the cell structure and organization. A cell is a basic unit of living things. There are two types of cells: animal cells found in animals and plant cells found in plants. Both animal and plant cells contain various cell organelles, which are membrane-bound structures that have distinct functions within the cell. Shared organelles include the cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, and lysosomes. Plant cells have additional features, namely the cell wall, chloroplasts, and vacuole. Let's start with the cell membrane. The cell membrane is a semi-permeable membrane that encloses the entire cell, providing a protective barrier. The cell membrane consists primarily of a phospholipid bilayer with embedded proteins and other molecules. The phospholipids arrange themselves with their hydrophilic water-loving heads on the outer and inner surfaces, while their hydrophobic water-repelling tails face inward. This arrangement forms a stable barrier that separates the cell's internal environment from the external surroundings. Challenge 1. Imagine you're designing an artificial cell. What would happen if the phospholipid bilayer was reversed, hydrophobic heads on the outside? Would the cell survive? In addition to its structural function, the cell membrane plays a crucial role in cellular communication and signal transduction. It contains receptor proteins that can recognize and bind specific signaling molecules, triggering intracellular responses. These signals can initiate various cellular processes such as growth, metabolism, and gene expression. Furthermore, the cell membrane houses transport proteins that facilitate the selective movement of substances across the membrane. These proteins come in various forms, such as channels, carriers, and pumps, and they regulate the passage of ions, nutrients, and waste products. Some substances can diffuse directly through the membrane, while others require the assistance of specific transport mechanisms. Next, the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm is the fluid part of the cell, where all the cell organelles are suspended. This dynamic environment serves as the primary site for several vital chemical reactions, thereby playing an essential role in diverse metabolic processes crucial for the cell's functionality and survival. Challenge 2. If the cytoplasm suddenly became solid, which organelle's function would be affected the most, and why? Additionally, the cytoplasm is a site for cellular transport and communication, facilitating the movement of molecules and the transmission of signals essential for proper cellular functioning. Its intricate composition and multifaceted functions make the cytoplasm a central player in the dynamic coordination of cellular activities. Next, the nucleus. The nucleus is often referred to as the cell's control center. Within the nucleus, you'll find the cellular blueprint, also known as DNA, which plays an important role in coordinating various cellular functions. Among its responsibilities, the nucleus takes charge of gene expression and replication, two fundamental processes that shape the cell's identity and ensure its survival. Gene expression can be thought of as the cellular language that translates genetic instructions into tangible actions. Genes, segments of DNA that carry specific instructions for making proteins, are selectively read and activated. This activation initiates a series of events that ultimately lead to the production of proteins, the molecular machines that carry out essential functions within the cell. Replication, on the other hand, is akin to the cell's ability to duplicate its genetic material. This process ensures that as cells divide and multiply, each new cell receives an accurate and identical copy of the genetic information stored in the DNA. Imagine it as creating a precise copy of a crucial manual to ensure that every new employee cell has the necessary instructions for carrying out its designated tasks. Challenge 3. If the nucleus were removed from a cell, would the cell continue functioning? How long would it survive without its control center? Next, the mitochondria. The mitochondria is also known as the powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria are responsible for energy production through a process called cellular respiration. They convert nutrients into ATP or adenosine triphosphate, the molecule that stores and transfers energy within the cell. Challenge 4. What would happen if mitochondria stopped producing ATP? How long could a cell last without energy? Next, the ribosomes. The ribosomes are tiny structures found inside the cells. Ribosomes are the sites of protein synthesis, where amino acids are assembled into proteins based on the instructions encoded in the cell's DNA. Challenge 5. If ribosomes made a mistake in assembling proteins, what kind of consequences could it have for the cell? Next, the endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is an interconnected network of tubules in the cell. There are two types of endoplasmic reticulum: the rough endoplasmic reticulum and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for protein folding and plays a role in protein synthesis, while the smooth endoplasmic reticulum has various functions like synthesizing and breaking down lipids, detoxifying harmful substances, and regulating calcium levels in the cell. Challenge League 6. If a cell is exposed to a toxic chemical, which part of the ER would become most active, and why? Next, the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus, often referred to as the post office of the cell. The Golgi apparatus receives proteins and lipids from the endoplasmic reticulum, modifies and sorts them, and packages them into vesicles for transport to their specific destinations inside or outside the cell. Challenge 7. If the Golgi apparatus stopped working, which cell process would break down first? Next, the lysosomes. The lysosomes are spherical granules with an acidic environment that contain hydrolytic enzymes. Lysosomes are involved in breaking down worn-out cell organelles, non-usable substances, and even engulfed pathogens and cellular debris, playing a vital role in cellular waste disposal. Challenge 7. If lysosomes malfunction, what do you think would happen to the cell over time? In addition to the cell organelles found in both animal and plant cells have some additional features. These features include the cell wall, chloroplasts, and the vacuole. First, the cell wall. The cell wall is a tough layer surrounding the cell membrane. It provides structural support, protection, and determines the shape of the plant cell. Challenge 9. Animal cells lack a cell wall. Why do you think plant cells need one, but animal cells do not? Then the chloroplast. Chloroplasts are sac-like structures exclusively found in plant cells. They contain chlorophyll, a pigment that captures sunlight during photosynthesis. Through photosynthesis, chloroplasts convert light energy into chemical energy, producing glucose, which serves as a vital energy source for the plant. Challenge 10. If a plant is kept in complete darkness for weeks, how will its chloroplasts respond? By the way, did you know that mitochondria and chloroplasts have their own DNA and can reproduce independently? That's because they were once free-living bacteria before teaming up with cells in a process called endosymbiosis. You're basically part bacteria. Finally, the vacuole. The vacuole is a large fluid-filled organelle found in plant cells. It stores various substances such as water, nutrients, and waste materials. Additionally, the vacuole contributes to maintaining cell rigidity and regulating water balance within the cell. Challenge 11. If a plant's vacuole suddenly emptied, how would it affect the plant's structure? To recap, cells are the basic units of living things. Animal cells and plant cells each possess various cell organelles, essential for their functions. Shared organelles include the cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, and lysosomes. Plant cells have additional features, namely the cell wall, chloroplasts, and vacuole, which contribute to their unique structure and functions. Cells aren't just tiny structures. They are nature's most efficient factories, power plants, and security systems all in one. And speaking of structures, how do cells' structure determine their function? Watch the next video. Stay tuned. Stay curious.